Tom Homan is far more a man of substance. So let's hear what he has to say on this.
Well, I say leaving. Well, as a matter of fact, we got over 100 teams out today enforcing immigration law, and we're going to flood the zone. I've said for a month, sanctuary cities, you don't want us to arrest these bad guys that you just listed out. We could arrest them in the safety and security of the county jail, but they won't let us into jail. They release them into the community, which means we got to send a whole bunch of teams in the community to find this dangerous person that don't want to be found.
Now, of course, the illegal immigrant invader collaborators, they want the job to be difficult for Tom Homan. They don't want to safely remove criminal illegal migrants from their community. They want the tumult. They want the confrontation. That's why they release these people back into the community and compel ICE to seize them from the community, where they can facilitate obstruction of these ICE efforts.
So sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More officers in the communities and more officers in worksite. We can't arrest them in jail or arrest them in the community. If we can't arrest them in the community, we're going to increase worksite enforcement operation. We're going to flood the zone. And based on what LA is doing right now, we're going to continue to flood the zones. We're going to be there tonight. We're going to be there tomorrow. We're going to be there every day in the next 4 years, arresting public safety threat illegal aliens. We're not going to apologize for doing it. So we're not going anywhere, Jesse. We're going to do the job the American people voted Donald Trump in office for. We're going to make America safe again, one illegal alien criminal at a time. And this is another reason we need the big, beautiful bill passed so we can hire more ICE agents, get more technology, and help us find these people. Look, we got over 20 million illegal aliens in this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. We're outnumbered.
It's not 20 million. The media likes to throw around the 10 million illegal migrants. That's a number they've been using since the 1980s. And it's not 20 million. I think it would be a lot closer if someone said 50 million. Personally, I think it's 100 million. 100 million illegal migrants in the country.
You want more criminals taken off the street? You want more efficient operations? Then they need to pass this bill and fund ICE and fund the Border Patrol to keep President Trump's promise to the American people.
Of course, I love this talk. It's very reminiscent to me of Churchill during the Battle of Britain. Remember? We shall fight. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. I love it. I love it. These are people fighting for our nation, and they're doing it hard and relatively early. I know it doesn't feel early to many of you, but as DC Drano notes here, fun fact, we're only 140 days into Trump's term, and he's made it clear he'll be mass deporting illegal aliens in Los Angeles. That's the Berlin of the Nazi Empire. No matter what happens in the midterms, he will control ICE for the next 3.5 years. LA can make one of two choices: allow the duly elected president to enforce federal law, or cause riots for the next 3 years and implode into a third world hellhole. Unfortunately, I know what choice LA would make if those are its two choices. These progressive woke DEI fascists would rather rule over a smoking husk of a city than concede to saving that city from an illegal third world migrant invasion. I mean, just look at what they do in every urban center. Just look at LA and San Francisco. Before this issue ever came up, the massive 10 cities of drug addicts, violent drug addicts everywhere. Look at Detroit, once one of the top 5 cities in the world. And in a couple generations, they reduced it to an empty smoking husk that it is today. Everything progressives touch turns to poop. And they're fine with that because they're in charge of the poop. And they'd rather be in charge of poop than not be in charge of anything. Here we have Tom Homan again. I think he's on MSNBC here. And I think this guy starts crying before the end of this discussion. Tom Homan clarified today the so-called ICE rage, which sparked riots in LA. That's the progressive lie now, that everything was fine until ICE showed up. It was ICE that sparked the riots in LA. Like ICE came in and mind melded the protesters and said, you will set cars on fire. You will throw bricks at police officers. All right, we must obey your commands. ICE is responsible for all this, as if enforcing the law can ever be an incitement for unlawfulness. Clarified today, the ICE rage which sparked riots in LA were tied to criminal investigations involving criminal offenses, money laundering, cartel activity, not routine immigration enforcement. They weren't just coming in and grabbing every other person on the street, which they probably could do. Half the city is illegal migrants. They were targeting active criminal enterprises. Let's hear what Tom has to say on this.
Were there public safety threats in the fashion district and at that Home Depot in these raids we've seen?
Yeah, and that's what no one's talking about. The fashion district wasn't an immigration raid. It was the service of 3 criminal warrants at locations based on a large criminal conspiracy that ICE is investigating. That has to do with money laundering, tax evasion, and customs fraud, where a company underdeclared over $80 million in goods. Driller paid $17 million in fees. And it's part of an overall conspiracy on numerous businesses that they believe that some of this money is being laundered in Mexico and Colombia to fund cartel activity. So this was a criminal investigation that they all responded to in the beginning. That's how it all started.
And by the way, there was no raid on a Home Depot. That's also another progressive lie. As I often say, if progressives didn't have lies, they'd have nothing to say at all. The supposed raid on Home Depot, there was no raid on Home Depot. There was an ICE facility near the Home Depot where ICE was staging for further activity and to hold accountable the millions of illegal third world migrant invaders into our country. But nothing was happening at Home Depot. Home Depot just happened to be in the area. And when the illegal migrant third world invaders realized ICE was staging at the ICE facility, they reacted and brought their troops there to confront ICE. That's how it started. ICE was just there to begin lawful activities, enforcing immigration law. And then the illegal migrant third world invaders responded with their street troops. Here's Tom on Jesse Waters.
They can't impede our enforcement efforts. They can't put hands on our officers. They can't knowingly harbor and conceal illegal aliens from us. I said, so if they cross that line, they're going to be prosecuted. And the question was, well, how about Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? What if they cross that line? I says, they'll be prosecuted too.
Nobody is above the law. Remember the left screaming that about Trump? Nobody is above the law.
Haven't they said for the last 4 years, no one's above the law? They cross the line, we'll seek prosecution. You and I would be held accountable. They prosecuted President Trump. No one's above the law. That's what they said. Either is the Governor Newsom. If he crosses that line, we'll simply ask the Attorney General to seek prosecution. It wasn't a threat. No one threatened to arrest him. But if he crosses that line and commits a crime, he's no better than anybody else who will seek prosecution.
All right. Of course, Gavin Newsom, being the tough alpha male he is, he has a response to all this. Let's hear Gavin Newsom send it right back to Trump and Tom Homan.
Get your hands off these poor people who are just trying to live their lives, man.
They're just trying to live their lives. Have you seen the records of the people that are being picked up? These third world migrant invaders, murderers, grapers, child predators, burglars, robbers, money launderers, drug traffickers, human traffickers. They're just all lawnmowers and fence painters. What would our community be without them?
Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror.
Some of these murderers that Tom Homan is picking up, they have been here 10 years. They've been here 20 years, murdering and graping and kidnapping.
Hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn.
You can smell the estrogen in the air.
I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is that.
All right. Tough guy, Gavin Newsom. Of course, what's Gavin Newsom actually overseeing? He's overseeing a California and a Los Angeles. That's ablaze. That's ablaze again. Last night, more of the same. Gavin Newsom is this is now according to the sheriff, the Los Angeles Police Department, rather. LA Sheriff's Association spokesman says Gavin Newsom is 100% adding fuel to the flames Gavin Newsom is absolutely part of the problem we're seeing here.
When are we going to crack down? What's the time to make that call?
That's a great point.
There's a fire now that's being set.
It is, and this is not the first time. This
Another
is called
cause.
arson. This is a felony. This is an arson. Okay, every single police officer and deputy sheriff right now wants this to end. Because they swear to uphold the peace. They swear to put their lives on the line so that this does not continue. Unfortunately, the governor of California is 100% adding fuel to the flames. His rhetoric is one thing. What he says is one thing. What he does is another. He is absolutely part of the problem that we're seeing here. And so there is a lack of cooperation with the state of California and local officials. There's not our hearts and prayers go out to every single deputy sheriff right now that are just absolutely exhausted and watching this unfold. This could end right now.
Of course, they don't want it to end. Thanks for watching this highlight segment of our full-length Law Self-Defense live stream. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more expert analysis on politics, law, and how to be hard to convict. And to watch the full-length episode of this show, just click right here. Stay safe.